She killed thousands for a throne. Olga of Kiev buried 20 envoys alive, then burned an entire city by tying fire to sparrows. 1,000 years later, the Russian Orthodox Church declared her a saint. 7 women, 5 emperors they crowned, 4 emperors they killed. Empresses, regents and mothers who held Rome, Byzantium and Kiev by the throat. We start in the palace of Augustus, with the quiet wife who watched every rival to her son die right on schedule. Rome's first empress was accused of outliving 5 heirs on purpose. Livia Drusilla, married to Octavian in 38 BC, crowned beside him when he became Augustus, Rome's first emperor. Augustus had no living son. Livia had Tiberius. For 50 years, every rival to her boy died at a useful moment. Marcellus, the emperor's nephew and first heir, dead at 19 in 23 BC. Gaius and Lucius Caesar, the adopted grandsons, dead by AD 4. One in Armenia, one in a Marseille harbour. Agrippa Posthumus, the last grandson, exiled to a rocky island, quietly cut down the week Augustus died. Hostile Roman historians were unanimous. Tacitus wrote that every obstacle was removed in a manner convenient to Livia. The chroniclers whispered of poisoned figs plucked warm from a tree she tended herself. None of it was ever proven, but every one of them died. When Augustus stopped breathing in AD 14, Tiberius wore the purple within hours. She didn't kill her husband, she waited. If Livia was the patient poisoner, the next woman didn't wait. She built emperors like chess pieces. One grandmother crowned 2 emperors, and replaced the first when he embarrassed her. Julia Maesa, Syrian noblewoman, sister-in-law to an emperor, exiled when his dynasty collapsed in AD 217. A year later, she smuggled her 14-year-old grandson into a legionary camp near Maesa, draped in silk, the air heavy with frankincense from his Syrian temple. The soldiers hailed him Augustus. His name became Elagabalus. For 4 years he hauled a black meteor into Rome, married a Vestal, and shattered every taboo the Senate could name. The Praetorians turned on him, so did his grandmother. In AD 222, soldiers dragged Elagabalus and his mother through wet streets, killed them in the camp latrines, and threw their bodies into the cold Tiber. Julia Maesa was already inside the palace, gripping her second grandson by the wrist. 13-year-old Alexander Severus, bathed, Latinized, coached. She never wanted a throne. She wanted to choose who sat on it. But number 5 wasn't a maker of emperors. She was a wife, and her fall took a single afternoon. Later sources said the Empress of Christian Rome was boiled alive by her own husband. Flavia Maxima Fausta, wife to Constantine the Great, the emperor who legalized Christianity, founded Constantinople, and summoned the Council of Nicaea, mother of 3 future emperors. In AD 326, Constantine had his eldest son Crispus, Fausta's stepson, a war hero at 20, arrested at Pola, tried in secret, and executed. Weeks later, Fausta herself was dead. Ancient writers fill in the gap. A false accusation of incest, the lie unraveled by Constantine's mother Helena, then Fausta sealed into an imperial bath and the furnace stoked until the steam scalded the walls. Modern historians debate almost every detail. What is not debated, a son and a wife dead inside 12 months, both names scrubbed from coins, inscriptions, and imperial decrees. A double damnatio memoriae signed by a future saint. The court erased the story so completely that we still argue over who really killed whom. But number 4 didn't need a rumor. She walked her son into a quiet chamber and shut the door. A mother blinded her grown son to keep his throne. Irene of Athens, widow of Leo IV, regent for Constantine VI from AD 780. She ran Byzantium for 17 years while he grew up. When Constantine reached adulthood and tried to rule alone, she waited. In August AD 797, she invited him into the Porphyra, the purple chamber where he had been born. Her soldiers pinned him to the stone floor. They drove a blade across both eyes in a wound one chronicler called "so deep he soon died." The room smelled of copper and hot lamp oil. Outside, the Sea of Marmara was silent at dawn. She took the title Basileus, emperor, not empress, the first woman to hold the Eastern crown alone. In the West, the Pope declared the Roman throne vacant because a woman sat on it. On Christmas Day, AD 800, he crowned a Frankish warlord in St. Peter's and called him emperor. His name was Charlemagne. Irene didn't just take a throne, she forced the West to invent a new one. But number 3 didn't blind a sun. She poisoned her husband with a single mushroom and raised the boy who would kill her for it. She raised the most famous emperor in Roman history, Agrippina the Younger, great-granddaughter of Augustus, sister of Caligula, mother of a boy she would teach to rule the world. In AD 49, she married her uncle Claudius, the emperor himself, and convinced him to adopt her son ahead of his own biological heir. The boy took a new name in the Senate, Nero Claudius Caesar. She hired Seneca to tutor him, steered every coin and every oath toward his 12-year-old shoulders. The coins struck in AD 54 show her face level with her husband's, unprecedented for a Roman woman. That October, Claudius sat down to a dinner of Boletus mushrooms. One was poisoned. Tacitus names the toxin, names the taster, names her. Claudius convulsed for hours. Nero, 16, was emperor by morning. 5 years later, Nero sent assassins after his own mother. The first attempt was a collapsing boat in the cold Bay of Naples. She swam ashore in the dark. The second attempt was a sword in her bedroom. She told the killer, "Strike here," and pointed to her womb. But number 2 didn't hide her crimes in a dinner. She performed hers in daylight, with witnesses, while her husband was still emperor of Rome. Rome's most famous empress married another man, while still married to the emperor. Messalina, 14 when she married the 48-year-old Claudius in AD 38. 6 years later, she ran the empire from beside him. She used that power to kill. The general Appius Silanus, dead on her orders. The senator Valerius Asiaticus, forced to open his veins in a Roman bath, steam still rising from the water. The princess Julia Livilla, starved to death on a stone island. Each name spoken, then struck off. In AD 48, while Claudius traveled to Ostia to bless a harbor, Messalina held a wedding. Real vows, real witnesses. A Roman consul named Gaius Silius at her side, dressed as a groom. The guests ate bread still warm from the ovens. The freedman Narcissus rode through the night to reach Claudius. The emperor heard, sobered, and gave one order. By sundown, Messalina was in the gardens of Lucullus. Her mother held a blade out and begged her to fall on it. She couldn't. A tribune did it for her. The Senate decreed damnatio memoriae. Coins scraped, statues smashed, inscriptions chiseled out. To this day, we cannot confirm the year she was born. But number 1 makes Messalina look restrained. She killed thousands, burned a whole city, and the church made her a saint. A chronicle says she killed thousands, and the church still made her a saint. Olga of Kiev, princess of the Rus, the Viking Slavic dynasty that would become Russia. Widow of Prince Igor, mother of Sviatoslav. The primary chronicle, written 2 centuries after the fact, tells the story in 4 acts. In AD 945, the Drevlian tribe murdered Igor by tying him between 2 bent birch trees and letting the trunks snap straight. The Drevlians sent 20 envoys to propose Olga marry their prince. The chronicle says she had them carried into Kiev, still sitting in their boat. then dropped into a trench she had already dug, buried alive while they stared up at her. A second delegation came. She invited them to bathe before the audience. When they were inside, she barred the door and set the bathhouse on fire. She heard them through the walls. At Igor's funeral feast outside Iskorostan, the chronicle continues, she poured wine for 5,000 Drevlian mourners until they were drunk, then gave the order. Her soldiers killed every one of them by dawn. Finally, she besieged the city for a year and offered peace for 3 sparrows from every house. Her men tied smoldering cloth to the birds' legs and released them. The sparrows flew home. The city burned from the inside out. The bird story is almost certainly legend. The slaughter may not be. 1,000 years later, she is Saint Olga, equal to the apostles. The icons do not mention the sparrow. 7 women. 5 emperors they crowned. 4 emperors they killed. One of them still appears on church calendars. Which name hit hardest? The poisoner, the blinder, or the saint with the sparrows? Drop her number in the comments. Hit subscribe if you want history without the filter.